Hello everyone. So what we have here is my iSpring 7-stage RO system that I've modified and added a few components to. So this is where the water goes in. It'll enter the 3 pre-stage filters. This will filter out larger sediments. These 2 are carbon filters that will reduce chlorine and things like that. From there, it'll go into the reverse osmosis membrane, where it'll filter out, I believe, 98-99% of all the sediments. And then from there, it would normally go to a carbon filter storage tank system like this one, and then from there it would go into the alkaline stage, which will add in like potassium, magnesium, calcium, I forget which type of minerals, but it will add some minerals back to the filtered water, or act as electrolytes, which help you hydrate when you drink water. What I did was, in order to cut the wastewater in half, I added a second RO membrane in series, meaning the wastewater that comes out of the RO membrane here feeds directly into the second RO membrane. This is going to slightly decrease the purity of your water, but it's going to be very minute, to the point where it's almost negligible. And then from there, the purified water is combined back into the post-carbon stage filtration, where it collects into the tank and then it goes into the carbon filtration. Now, my specific setup, I've got a refrigerator that has an ice maker and going to dispense filtered water. But I've also got in the kitchen, I've got a hot water heater underneath the sink that dispenses room temperature water and hot water for teas and instant coffee or things like that. Now, what I did was I actually split off the purified water to go into 2 separate carbon filters. The reason why I did that was before I added the second carbon filter, otherwise I believe it's the 5th stage, so I split the 5th stage into 2 carbon filters. The reason why I did that was when I was dispensing water from my kitchen sink, the hot water heater, it was causing back pressure and the UV filtration was going off, so I'm assuming I was getting some mineral buildup in there. The reason why I don't want the mineral stage to go into the hot water stage in the kitchen is because it will scale the hot water heater. These solids that the system is adding back into the purified water won't evaporate when you boil water, so that eventually leads to scale buildup, which we don't want. That could actually ruin your hot water heater. So I don't need to run a filter on the hot water heater because all the filtration is done here, and those filters are expensive. And this company, iSpring, or I believe their website is 123filter.com. They've been so helpful with the customer service in getting my system together. This took me about 2 months of researching. I've only had a basic understanding of RO filtration systems before, but 2 months it took me of researching to get this system together. One problem I did have was the auto shutoff valve on this system was a little low, so even with a booster pump, the pressure wasn't adequate going to my refrigerator. I've got incoming about 65 psi. You can find out how much your pressure is by getting a gauge like this. This is my output gauge, so this isn't the incoming water that's going into my system. This is the storage tank holding pressure. You want a minimum of 40 psi if you're going to be hooking this up to a refrigerator and ice maker. Otherwise, basically the water freezes in the line or the solenoid burns out because there's not enough water pressure coming in. So I've been making water for about 2 weeks now, holding this pressure, and that's helped with the 90% shutoff valve that I've installed in the back of the unit, as well as the permeate pump that I've mounted to the front of the unit. What this does is this basically uses the pressure of the wastewater to increase the pressure of the water going into the reverse osmosis membrane. So no electricity. It does make a clicking noise, so you know, you don't want this in like a home theater or something like that, because it is going to make some noise. But other than that, it's been performing flawlessly. I've got great holding pressure going to my refrigerator. It's making ice. And you know, the reason why we get these filters is because buying water at the store is so expensive, and you know, harmful to the environment with all the wasted plastic bottles and whatnot. And with this, you know, we've got cheap, high quality water at home. One tip I have to I'm missing some of the clips. I better put those in later. One thing I will recommend when you're putting your system together is, number one, make sure you have all the parts. They've got all the parts listed in their instruction manual, so go through the entire instruction manual, make sure you have all the parts, and if anything is broken, they do provide spares. But if you don't have an adequate number of spares, do not hesitate calling iSpring or emailing them and letting them know, and their customer service is phenomenal. They will ship you out any spare parts that you might need. When you do click in the hoses, your first instinct is, well, it's plastic, I don't want to break it. So the moment you feel a little pressure, you back off. If you put your system together like that and you turn on the water, you're going to get water everywhere. So what you want to do is, once you feel that first bit of pressure, keep pressing in the hose and you'll feel it click again a second time. That's how you know that the hose is properly connected to the fittings. So now that that's done, you know, you could turn on your water and check for any leaks. I suggest you put everything together. Don't hook it up under your sink until you've got everything hooked up and you're positive that there are no leaks in your system. Then you can put it underneath your sink. I've mounted it in a spare room area where I can easily access the filters. That's why I chose to mount it to the wall. But if you're going to mount this under your sink, I highly suggest that you hook up everything first and check the pressure and for any leaks. So that's it. That's all I can think of at the moment. If you've got any questions, please feel free to ask me, or you can contact iSpring at 123filter.com, and their customer service, like I said, is phenomenal. Thank you. Bye.
Hello everyone. We just got our iSpring 7-stage system this past week, and I installed it myself, and it was not difficult whatsoever. I'm not a plumber by any means, but it was very simple. Maybe it took about 2 hours tops. Everything went smoothly. The only issue I had probably happened in shipping. This elbow had broken off, but it was easy to replace because they provide some spare parts in the package. Everything went off without a hitch, no leaks whatsoever. Very happy. We had swapped out a 3-stage system that we've had for about 10 years, and I'm excited to have the alkaline filter as well as the UV lamp. But yeah, we are ecstatic, and I think they have 2 different choices for the finish and style of the dispenser, but we dug this one because it matched our existing faucet. So enjoy.
See, this is our system. There's our spring. You see that little light? That's the UV. Just make sure your threads are tight and you put the little clippies on and you'll be fine. That's it. No experience, no training, no nothing. All I did was watch the YouTube videos and follow instructions. Boop. And then the light goes off.
Or you can do it yourself if you're handy.
This is an iSpring water system. I like the faucet.